local news comes first. This is News to Houston.
Well, one Texas man's work is radically changing America. In his Hats Off to Houston report, Paul Harrison introduces us to Lex Frieden, the architect of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
When Lex Frieden broke his neck in an auto accident in 1967, his body locked up on him forever. But his mind, where he says Beethoven is forever playing, remained forever free to break new ground.
It's here at the Institute for Rehabilitation and Research that you can find Lex Frieden, arguably the most effective civil rights activist in the world today.
Institute Vice President, Frieden's the architect of the Americans with Disability Act, or ADA, which President Bush signed in 1990, outlawing discrimination against the disabled.
Nearly 80% of people with disabilities who wanted to work were unemployed. And it was relatively simple when one thought about it to figure out why. They couldn't get to work, there was no transportation. Once they got to an employer, many employers looked at them and said, well, you can't possibly do that job without even considering what abilities they had.
Frieden became an activist after a university refused him admission because he was in a wheelchair. He would graduate from college in just 3 years, and in '77 he engineered a protest against Metro. His activism gained national recognition, and he became head of the National Council on Disability. Ideas he presented to the president and Congress became the ADA. He says laws recently passed in Texas not requiring the disabled to pay for handicapped parking spaces in public parking lots and garages aren't needed. Work is.
The assumption is made that people with disabilities don't have the capacity, the wherewithal to pay their fair share. And that's not true.
You seldom see Frieden move without Mac Brody, a Vietnam vet who suffered a brain injury. He lives with Lex and his wife, Joyce. Mac is Lex's hands, Lex reasons for Mac. Both work long, long days at the hospital.
I think when somebody tells you, for whatever reason, that you can't do something that you know you darn well can do, you get motivated by that.
Lex Frieden. He motivated a nation to do the right thing. I'm Paul Harrison. Hats off to Houston.